Hey guys, in this video I wanted to show you how I made this isometric pixel art character. This isn't going to be a big video, just a simple commented time-lapse, though don't worry, I have something in the oven, in the making. I just want it to be good, so I don't know when that will come out. So, this character was a commission for someone on Fiverr. The hat on Twitter is the Sandwich, and this is the OC, Gilligan. It was a very fun commission to work on one I'm very happy with the result. As you can see, I animated it. Unfortunately, I did not record that part because I forgot. This commission didn't start well. At first I made a rough sketch and added the colors and everything was off. As you can see here, this was of course very quickly put together, but still, it was pretty bad compared to what I usually do. I'd say this is probably one of the worst sprites I've made recently. So, I decided to restart fresh from the beginning because I didn't want to work on this poor base. I think it's important whenever you're struggling to do something nice to try and give it a few more try, rather to work on that bad basis until you put 3 hours into it and it still doesn't look good. Of course, it's not going to look good from the get-go, but if you compare this sketch with my other sketch, I think one of the main differences is that this one has much more volume. My shapes are more solid, where the first sketch I made looked very flat. I also tried using more appealing shape. I think you can clearly see that on the glasses. I used a very common pixel art circle pattern that you see often. It's also more defined, like the hair for example. Again, reinforcing the solidity of the draft, but also giving me an idea of the design I want to go for. Then I moved on to the line. I usually like to go in this order because it's a more building from the ground type of approach, where doing the line art first helps you lock your character in place. A line is like the limit between two elements. You can of course start with the color, and it's I think the most common approach for landscape and painterly art style, but when I do it, it just gets messy and then I can't tell clearly where the line is going to sit and I end up having to do a lot of cleanup. You can see on my line art that some shapes still don't look very good, especially on the hands. They look a bit oddly posed, and that's because I was still struggling. But I couldn't come up with anything better at this point in time, so I just decided to move on to the coloring. I blocked in all the different base colors, trying to stay close to what was on the reference that the client sent me, and then I went on to the shading. The style I wanted to go for was this very high contrast, saturated type of pixel art. Like, if you look at the color picker in the bottom right, you can see most of these values are very saturated. Some of them even are at max saturation. I like this style, it looks very cool. It's also because my screen on which I do my pixel art has very flat colors, so it always ends up being more saturated than I thought. I'd like to invest in a high color fidelity screen someday, but I don't have anything pushing me to do it, so I just stay with the one I have right now because, well, let's be honest, it's good enough. I corrected the color of the outline and made a little sellout because I think it looks nice. Sellout stands for selective outline. That's when line art is composed of multiple colors instead of one. I was thinking of maybe doing a glossary of pixel art video, going over common terms like AA, cluster, jaggies, and other words like that. I think that could be fun to do and helpful for some people. Once I reached the hand, it was easier for me to figure out how to do them because I had colors, which was helpful for delimiting the fingers and stuff, and I also had time to reflect on it. Honestly, the right hand wasn't too much trouble. The left hand was the most challenging part of this whole thing. But with a bit of perseverance and Seco pixel art skill, we managed to get over this unsurmountable challenge. I realized afterwards I forgot the cape, so I added it at the last minute. You have to be very careful when working on commissions. It's very easy to miss something, like tiny mistakes or details. The cape here was more of a big detail, but most of the time it's the small bits you might miss. Like last week I delivered a final piece for someone and there was a random black pixel between the legs. It's not too visible, so it's easy to miss, but once you notice it, you can't unsee it. Sandwich asked me to change the position of the book, which I did very easily, and then I animated it, mostly by selecting parts of the character and moving them around, and then hand-drawing some of the smaller detail like the book and the hair. And here it is. The whole process took me around 2 hours to draw and animate the sprite, so pretty fast. I hope you guys like it. Thank you for watching this video, don't hesitate to drop a like if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!